Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're diving into a truly classical inquiry. We are opening up one of the most profound philosophical texts ever written to decode Canto 15 of the Yoga Vasistha. So, take a deep breath, center yourself, and get ready, because we're about to challenge the very fabric of how you perceive reality. Let's jump right in.
I am neither this body nor this mind, but the pure infinite consciousness. Wow. That right there instantly sets the deep, meditative atmosphere of this text. You know, the Yoga Vasistha is actually structured as a dialogue. It's this incredible guru-disciple dynamic between the enlightened sage Vasistha and a young, seeking Lord Rama. Now, at this point, Rama is going through a massive existential crisis. He's totally disillusioned with the world. And sage Vasistha, he's guiding him step by step out of that despair. But he's not doing it by changing the world around him. Nope, he is completely revolutionizing how Rama understands the world itself.
So here's our map for today's spiritual inquiry. We'll be looking at the cosmic illusion, the creeper and seed allegories, space and time metaphysics, sankalpa or the power of mind, the stages of supreme knowledge, and finally, true renunciation. This is the exact chronological path Sage Vasistha lays out to awaken his student. But before we actually step into this ancient landscape, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. Is the universe you see right in front of you actually real? Or is it just a projection of your own mind? Hold on to that thought. Let it kind of shatter your baseline perception of reality for a second, because answering that exact question is the entire purpose of Canto 15.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the cosmic illusion.
To really grasp Canto 15, we have to start with the text's most radical claim. The physical world, as solid and undeniable as it feels when you knock on wood, is an absolute illusion governed by something called Maya. Maya is the cosmic illusion. It's literally the veil that covers the true, infinite nature of consciousness. It's this active, powerful force of ignorance that makes the unreal world appear incredibly, undeniably real to our senses. Vasistha explains to Rama that until you recognize Maya for what it actually is, you're essentially asleep. You're trapped in a dream that you're mistaking for waking life. And honestly, everything that follows in this canto is a strategy to pierce right through that veil. Moving right along to Section 2, the creeper and seed allegories. Now, to explain these really dense metaphysical concepts, Vasistha uses some incredibly vivid allegories. In verses 12 through 14, he describes this psychological creeper vine. Visually, it's magnificent. It's blooming with these vibrant, intoxicating flowers that just demand your attention. But if you look a little closer, this beautiful vine is actually rooted in deep, dark, tangled soil. It spreads aggressively, basically choking out everything else around it. And verses 15 through 22 brilliantly illustrate how this is the perfect metaphor for the human condition. Those tangled, muddy roots, they represent the physical body and its endless binding desires. The vibrant, intoxicating flowers are our sensory experiences and worldly pleasures. Sure, they look beautiful, they smell amazing, but they're fleeting. And ultimately, they only serve to feed that creeping, suffocating vine of our ego. Vasistha uses this story to show Rama exactly how our psychological attachments grow and completely bind us. Then, in verses 25 and 26, Vasistha gives us a second major allegory. I want you to picture a massive, sprawling banyan tree. We're talking about one of the largest trees on Earth, with incredibly heavy branches and deep, deep roots. Now realize that this entire colossal structure exists entirely, latently, within the microscopic confines of a single, tiny, unassuming seed. It's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it. So let's decode the philosophy here. Just like that massive tree rests unmanifested within the tiny seed, the entire multidimensional universe, every star, every planet, every lifetime, exists latently within pure, unconditioned consciousness. The universe isn't some external object created out of nothing. It's a projection unfolding from the seed of the Supreme Mind. This fundamentally shifts how we're supposed to view the physical world. It's not a place we are in, it's an experience unfolding from within us.
Which brings us to Section 3, Metaphysics of Space and Time.
So, having established that the universe is a projection, Canto 15 shifts gears into advanced cosmology, presenting a stark contrast to how we humans usually perceive things. Normally, we treat space and time as linear, fixed, and purely physical, right? A day is a day, a mile is a mile.
But the Yoga Vasistha argues that space and time are entirely relative. They are multidimensional and completely mind-dependent. The text literally argues that decades of lived experience can pass in a mere moment of mental projection. It's just like in a dream where you feel like you've lived an entire lifetime, but you've only been in REM sleep for a few minutes. Time and space literally bend to the state of the observer's consciousness.
Let's transition to Section 4, Sankalpa, the power of mind. Okay, if space and time are relative, how does the universe actually sprout? The answer is Sankalpa. This translates to intention, will, or a thought construct. It's the mental power that projects and solidifies our perceived reality. Vasistha teaches that the universe we experience is, essentially, just a dense aggregation of these thought constructs. It is our deep-seated intentions and beliefs that crystallize into the physical world we bump into every single day. Think about it this way. Sankalpa creates the ego, that false sense of I. It projects the physical universe, it binds us to our desires, and ultimately it creates the illusion of suffering. Remember that psychological creeper vine we talked about earlier? Sankalpa is the water and the sunlight that makes that vine grow. Our own mental intentions literally construct the tangled roots of our suffering. Moving into Section 5, Stages of Supreme Knowledge. So if we're trapped by our own mind's Sankalpa, how in the world do we escape? Well, Sage Vasistha introduces a practical application through chronological spiritual stages known as the bhumikas. First up is Subhecha. This is the right desire, that initial spark of deep inquiry, when you finally stop and ask, who am I? Next comes detachment from worldly desires, when you realize those pretty creeper flowers are totally fleeting. Third is the profound realization of the illusion itself, seeing Maya for exactly what it is. And finally, the practitioner arrives at Turiya. That's the fourth state, the state of pure, unconditioned consciousness that exists entirely beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And finally, Section 6, True Renunciation and Salvation. This actually brings us to the core resolution of Canto 15, which is the ultimate definition of salvation in this classical context. It means becoming a jivan mukta. That is someone who is fully liberated and enlightened while still living in the physical body. And this is a huge, vital point. Liberation in the Yoga Vasistha doesn't require dying and going off to some heaven. No, it requires waking up from the dream of Maya while you are still walking around in the dream itself. The crucial difference here is between physical and mental renunciation. A lot of people think salvation requires abandoning your family, quitting your job, and fleeing to live in a cave in the forest. But Vashishtha tells Rama that doing all that is completely useless if your mind is still packed full of worldly sankalpa. True salvation is mental renunciation. It's living fully in the world, doing your daily duties, but doing them without any psychological attachment. You have to drop the thought constructs that bind you, not just drop your physical zip code. This brings the incredible guru-disciple narrative of this canto to a really peaceful, meditative close. The universe is but a long dream. Awake and realize your true nature. Sage Vasistha is telling Rama, and really, he's telling all of us, that there is absolutely nothing to fear, nothing to aggressively fight, and nothing to run away from. You merely have to wake up. But hey, the journey of the Yoga Vasistha definitely doesn't end here. All of this sets the stage for Canto 16, where the text explores the evolution of the newly liberated mind and plunges into even deeper cosmic inquiries. Because once you wake up, how do you actually navigate the dreamscape? Well, that's exactly what awaits us in our future studies. For now, though, I want to leave you with one final thought on why all of this matters for your life today. If the universe is merely a construct of your mind, driven entirely by your sankalpa, your deepest intentions, what reality will you choose to build next? Thank you so much for joining me on this classical inquiry. Stay focused, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.